Ladies and gentlemen, we are now gathered to induct the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. When I think about our newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, no, I don't think of somebody wearing a New York Mets hat who's probably a very, very happy man about those New York Metropolitans, even though he's in the state of Pennsylvania. I'll leave that at that for another time. Although, full disclosure, I am a New York Mets fan, but I'm not here to talk about New York Mets baseball. I don't think at this platform, at this point, they would want to hear much of that. But what I am here actually is to induct a man that has been a fabric of our wrestling community here, especially in central Pennsylvania. Over the past 6 years, I've had the opportunity to speak with countless people around the world, obviously leading to a moment that people will get a chance to hear very soon. And some guy that's called a man beast, a war machine, Rhino, I'll save that at that. But what really for me makes a difference every day is getting a chance to connect with people that put their blood, sweat, and tears out there and do it really not even for a hot dog and a handshake, but they do it because they care and they love this sport. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Richie Allen. Richie Allen has been a man in the Pennsylvania wrestling scene for decades, whether it's giving his advice as a referee, whether it's giving his advice in match reviews, whether it's being a student of the game, or just being somebody that would lend an ear and just try to help and try to help those around him, whether it's wrestlers like Mr. Andrew Loveless, a frequent member of Sportswire Radio, the Dirty White Boy, and everything that he's done out there. Richie Allen has helped thousands of people, whether it's as a referee, whether it's been just seeing things through his own lens to help wrestlers. And I think that's, to me, what wrestling is about. I said this when you'll hear the interview with Rhino, that wrestling is the platform that can connect people from all over the world, from all types of backgrounds and all different phases, whatever it might be. And that's what Richie Allen has been doing. He doesn't even know it. I haven't known Richie Allen very long, but I feel like I know Richie Allen very long. Why do I say that, ladies and gentlemen? Because there are thousands of Richie Allens out there in this world. There are thousands of Richie Allens in the wrestling world that go out there selflessly, give their time, and they do it because they love this sport and they want to leave it a better one. And that's what we're all here for. We're all bonded by this thing called All Wrestling Matters. And All Wrestling Matters gives everybody an opportunity, everybody a voice. And that's what Richie Allen as a referee has done. And think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have many referees at all in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame or have done any type of refereeing. I could count on my hand, whether it's a referee who's done some type of work in the underground wrestling circuit, the independent wrestling circuit, whether it's maybe in sports. I've had some refereeing in college athletics, soccer, different things like that. But Richie Allen, in many ways, is one of the most important men. He's one of the most important men out there because without a referee, can you really have a match? Can you really have an indie or a pro wrestling match? I ain't going to be the referee for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm holding the microphone, so I don't think we want me counting the 1, 2, 3. Somebody will get mad. But the facts are, Richie Allen is the reason why we have wrestling. Without referees, where would we all be? Richie Allen is somebody for over 30 years has given his life to this sport of wrestling. Just when we thought he was done, they suck him right back in. And he's, to this day, it's true. It's true, Richie. It's true that you thought you were done, but in wrestling, you're never done. I mean, look at Ric Flair. He wants one more match. I mean, didn't we go over that like 25 years ago? But Richie Allen, guys like you are the difference in our community. There's an expression that in order to be successful, you have to feel your community. And a referee is our community. You see everything. You have eyes and ears from the back of you, the front, and you see things in a way that wrestlers more and more should talk to and see and observe. And that's why you've given your life for decades here in the Pennsylvania wrestling circuit. And why is that important to me? Is because the Pennsylvania independent wrestling circuit is a rich history full of wonderful talents and wonderful people and wonderful small towns and wonderful promotions. And that's what it's about, to leave this world a better place. We can all talk the talk, but can we walk the walk? Richie Allen, he figuratively and literally has to talk the talk and walk the walk because, well, as a referee, right? Don't they have to talk? Don't they have to walk and then count the 1, 2, 3 in between? And that's what Richie's been doing. But Richie is a man that we all owe a debt of gratitude to. We all owe a debt of gratitude for Richie Allen and guys like Richie Allen because they are the definitions of what wrestling is, the encyclopedias, the knowledge. People famously always say, I know nothing about wrestling. I would admit that I probably don't know anything about wrestling. And why do I say that? Actually, because I don't. Because Richie is a guy that knows a lot because he's in that ring every single time he gets a chance. Those guys that put on the striped shirts, they know a lot more than we would ever think. Think about all the referees we watch on TV. Charles Robinson, Nick Charles in the past, Mike Chioda, Jimmy Corderas, the Hebners. I mean, it's a long list of referees. And those referees are a part of some of our most famous moments. In many ways, a referee is kind of sort of similar to, let's say, if you're a fan of movies, almost like a stuntman, where a stuntman has to do all these big things, right? But they don't get a credit. A stuntman doesn't get a credit for your favorite actor and what they do. Richie Allen is kind of a stuntman. He's a stuntman in that he's got to make sure he gets that right spot. He's got to help those in the ring get to where they need to be and do it in a timely fashion. One of my hopes in Sportswire Radio, in our coverage of wrestling, whether it's this year or just the future in general, is that we have more referees on this platform. We have more referees in the Hall of Fame and those that mean something in the wrestling world. Richie Allen is the true definition of an unsung hero. He's an unsung hero because he doesn't wrestle. He doesn't have a win or loss to his credit, but what he does have is this right here. It's called common sense and street smarts. You know, growing up as a kid in Brooklyn, I was always told I got to have street smarts about me. Now, I don't think I have much of anything, obviously. I'm sure Rhino would like to have gored me in the interview. You'll find out and watch it. But the facts are is that that's what Richie Allen brings to the table. That's what's important, is the street smarts and the common sense. Those were things that I was taught as a kid. I needed to have street smarts and common sense. I don't know if I have them. You know, I'm sure somebody could tell me whether I do or I don't, but it's not about me. Richie Allen is one of those guys that we need more of. I don't know if it's in wrestling school. I don't know if it's in seminars, whatever it might be. My hope is that today, on January 8th, 2025, that Richie Allen is remembered for what he's done inside the ring, but most importantly, what he's given outside this ring, which is this up here. And that's street smarts and common sense. And I would hope that those that come on this platform that will eventually go on to the journey, whether it's in the independents, the pro wrestling circuit, when they graduate from the underground, the backyard, I don't even know what it's called at this point. It's all wrestling matters. But when those graduate, right, and they graduate to the independents and the pro wrestling circuits, they meet Richie Allen and they meet guys like Richie Allen. That's why today is an important one. And Richie, as I say, unfortunately, I say this to all too often to too many Hall of Famers. We should have did it earlier. You're number 98, but you know what? You made it. I mean, Van Hansen the other day was talking about how he's going to try to make me proud. And ironically, he says that, and a few hours later, the internet blows up because there's a picture of me and Rhino. So I don't know if that has something to do with that, but you are the 98th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And I'm going to give you the big introduction. I'm going to do the usual Andrew's in the Hall of Fame. And there's countless others that are in the Hall of Fame that are very worthy peers of yours. A long list of names that I think have certainly made a difference. Dean Allmark, who famously was in TNA Impact Wrestling. A few other names. Danny Burns played in the NCAA Final Four, men's basketball, the only player and team from the City University of New York in any sport that played in the Final Four. Pretty cool thing. Jason Facina, head coach of the United States amputee men's soccer team. So when people tell you, Sportswire, it's just a Hall of Fame for a certain ilk, not so fast. That's why, Richie, you're one of the very few referees that are in our Hall of Fame. And I'm very happy to do that. But, I could go on and on and on about Richie Allen. He probably would like me to go on and on about it. He'd probably like me to ask him what he thinks about the Mets offseason. He'd probably like me to ask him about Alonso, but I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is officially congratulate Richie Allen as the 98th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But, before I do that, Richie, I don't know how well you know me. Well, you know me actually pretty well now, I would think. But most people seem to know my name. I don't know why, but you can fill 2 and 2. But I usually do a big introduction. I usually do a big thing. And even though my voice is shot today, but it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. No rain, no snow, no sleet. Or here in Brooklyn, it was like 100-mile-an-hour winds, and I thought they were going to blow me away. I thought I was in Kansas rather than Bensonhurst or Gravesend today. But I appreciate going with the wind. I'm not going with the wind. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to now formally introduce our 98th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. That is the one and only Richie Allen. But as I stated, you are now going to get that introduction that so many people have gotten. You are 8th member of our 9th class. Yes, there's a 9th class. So let's get right to it. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where all wrestling matters, let's give Richie Allen that Hall of Fame like introduction. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, our 8th member of our 9th class and the 98th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, respected referee in the Pennsylvania Independent Wrestling Circuit. His name is simply put, not to be confused with Dick Allen. Richie
Thank you. I'm truly honored. I'm very humbled. Very humbled.
Well, you don't have to be, but thank you for that. But congratulations. You definitely earned being in the Hall of Fame. I came up with that speech on my own randomly. I actually, for the audience, I used to come up with like notes, but I can't sit there and read 5 pages of my chicken scratch. So I just go out and do it, I wing it, even with Rhino. You'll see the interview when it comes out. I'll let people know soon, but I just wing it. I don't really, do it. But Andrew Loveless is here with us. I'm sure there'll be a surprise come in a little while. But Richie, congratulations. And I ask you this question for those that are listening and watching here. In prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where truly all wrestling matters. How does it feel, Richie Allen, to be the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame?
Truly humbled. It's truly an honor. And I'm totally humbled by this. It's very humbling and very honoring experience. And your preview to the show, I was glad you brought up Jimmy Corderas, because
I did.
I actually attended a referee seminar with Jimmy Corderas one time.
Oh, wow. That's very cool. Well, tell me about it. Jimmy Corderas
is
in my world now. Jimmy Corderas is like a big name in the interview podcast world. So tell me about Jimmy Corderas.
Well, to begin with, I've never ever heard hardly any time a referee seminar, Mm-hmm. So there was a time when I went down to Pittsburgh at the Iron City Wrestling Academy, and they had Jimmy Corderas was in town, and He was making an appearance in Pittsburgh, so they had him in, brought him into the academy for to do a seminar. I think
Yeah.
we had like $30 a piece or whatever, but it was it was a great learning experience. Even though I'd already had like, I don't know, probably 6, 8 years under my belt.
Mhm.
Like you say, you never stop learning. We always say never stop learning. I learned a ton from that man just in a couple hours. That little nuances and things that most people probably would not have ever learned had they not attended this man's seminar. So
Why do you?
hats off, hats off to Jimmy Corderas for trying to improve the crafts of referees by hosting seminars and to guys like him that have podcasts, uh, so guys can brush up on things or critique things and always can
Yeah.
keep improving.
I was going to ask you, why aren't there more referee seminars? I've done college basketball, and I spoke to a coach famously who's now in high school coverage in Long Island. He was a college basketball player. He coached a little bit in college basketball, the Division III level, and we did an interview with him, a guy that's no longer on my show anymore. It was another former basketball player. When I was covering basketball, had to be about 3 years ago, and he went out and took a class to be a referee. He's like, let me step in the shoes. I was this basketball player. I got mixed up. I was one of these guys that was kind of physical. I was in the low post, and I mean, he was like, it was an eye-opening experience. But why aren't there more referee seminars? Why not?
My personal opinion is everybody wants to be a wrestler. The guys that are coming up, that are even small, that are, to me, have tremendous potential to be a referee. They remind me a lot of a young version of myself, 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids. No, they're not happy being a referee. They want to wrestle, which I get that, but not everybody can be a wrestler. So
Obviously,
if you want to be involved in this in the industry, there's always other routes, whether it be commentary, whether it be cameraman, whether it be photo shooting, whether it be any type of production, whether it be booking, whether it be managing, whether it be refereeing, whether it be ring announcing. I mean, I just named off 10 things right there off the top of my head.
I will say the business needs valets bad.
Good luck finding a good-looking one in this town.
We're family. You know what? I'm going to, especially since Rhino's going to be on the platform, I'm going to reserve judgment on that. I'm going to let that, if it was like 3 months ago on Sportswire, I would have probably did a 20-minute rant on that, but we're going to leave that at that. But I would think that you could learn a lot as a referee. We'll get to Andrew in a minute. I know Andrew's got a match we're going to promote, but I mean, I would just think, again, I remember, like I said, I brought up basketball. And I would think that a referee's job is such an important job because, like I said, in putting you in the Hall of Fame, right? Without a referee, you can't have an indie or a pro wrestling match.
Well, Tom, here's my take on this, okay? I know Loveless will disagree. I know he will. I know probably
he's got a problem with one referee. It's not you.
Probably peanut butter jealous or whoever the hell he is. He'll probably be
star referee.
He won't agree with this either. But I think that everybody that is training to become a professional wrestler should have to referee at least, let's say, 1 or 2 cards before they step in a ring and have a match. You know why?
Well, how about this?
It creates ring awareness. It creates ring positioning. It helps you to learn how to work in front of a crowd, especially if you're someone who has high anxiety, like Mr. Loveless or myself. We have anxiety. And then people say, well, how do you go out and do that and perform in front of a crowd? Well, truth be told, when I go out in that ring, that's my safe spot.
Yeah.
I don't see the crowd. I don't see faces. I just see.
But couldn't you argue?
The same with DJing for me too.
All right, but let me just say this: shouldn't you? I agree with you on that, but wouldn't that also be a requisite? Because don't they say to everybody, well, you got to go out and learn to set up the ring. Well, you got to go out there and be there early. Well, you got to go and have a certain etiquette. So refereeing would be blended into that, right? Because if you're going to say, think of it like this. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but for me, in order for me to have graduated high school, I needed to have a form of community service. A form of community service was basically me going out there and whether it was cleaning up a park, whatever it was, doing something, and kind of, if I'm going to be a wrestler, because man, being a wrestler is far different than being a baseball player, far different than being a basketball player, far different than being a football player. Get the drift? But being a wrestler, you need to know a lot of the things, because what did I say in inducting you in the Hall of Fame? You have to have some type of common sense and street smarts up here. So being a referee would be blended into that.
And I agree. And referees, I mean, I'm not excluded. I mean, early on in my career, especially, I tore apart and put up many rings.
Yeah, I think being a referee,
Yep.
then to your part, should be included in that. I mean,
I still do it.
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, again, I don't want to give away much on the interview. You'll find out when I announce it. That'll be sooner rather than later. But I mean, look, I think referees are important. I think that's why you should be here in the Hall of Fame, because guys like you definitely are important to the overall fabric of the wrestling. Because again, you can't have a wrestling match without a referee. Can't have one.
And where here's my concern. Where are our next generation of referees on the independent level? Where are they going to come from?
Yep. Good point.
Where are they going to come from? I mean, we're going to have to grow them on trees.
I'm being real.
No, I know you're saying. I was joking, but
I'm the last of a dying breed.
Well, I would say what you're going to probably have is
You would think more schools would offer.
I'll tell you what.
side
You know what?
classes on that.
I have an answer for this.
They do,
So
but nobody wants to do it. They all want to wrestle.
Well, here's my answer.
Every school will train you to become a referee, a valet, a manager, or a wrestler. Nobody wants to do anything except for wrestle.
Well, my answer to that is guys like Jimmy Corderas could be potentially making a ton of money. That would be my answer.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, and I'm sure he's done favor for himself, and he's doing favor for himself now.
Are going to be a dime a dozen. So what?
Well, even like a Hebner, even the Hebner boy, young Hebner.
Yep.
Earl's son. Why couldn't he be?
Well, I think what refereeing is going to wind up being is that it's going to be almost like an apprenticeship, meaning that there's going to be certain people. It's almost like, and I'll get to the chat in a little while, but it's almost like people would say being a doorman, like to get a job as a doorman. It's almost like you need an in. So being a referee, from what you're telling me, because it's a dime a dozen, going to be certain people are the only ones to teach that. But I tell you what, before I put the certificate up, you want to follow Richie on Instagram. You want to tell him he's doing a great job, tell him he's doing a bad job, or tell him we need more referees, or tell him whatever you want. At his Instagram page, give him a follow. You can see him here, a bunch of different things. He's a freelancer. I'm not going to repeat the last two things here because we are a family station. Yes, we are a family station here. So, I mean, especially after you know who is coming on here. You know who. The last thing we need here is to say some of those things. But there's Richie. Give him a follow. He's a New York Mets fan, and he definitely shows off he's a New York Mets fan. And
hey, see that picture with Virgil?
Yeah.
Yes.
See that? I didn't pay for that. I ripped Virgil.
Wow. Well, you know what?
He takes pictures with you, and then he'll want you to give him $40.
So
well, God rest his soul. God rest his soul. Love Virgil, but I did that. I did the reverse thing on him.
Well, that's why you're in the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame.
So maybe you got to start from you.
I didn't ask him for $40 from me, though. Yeah.
You're probably the patient zero. You're the one that started it.
That was a good one. All right, that's a good one. Well, I'll tell you what's even better one.
Yeah, probably you're right, Andrew.
Congratulations, Richie. There you go.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that.
I'm going to give it to you when we're off the air, the physical copy. But there you go. You're in the Hall of Fame, number 98. I think 98's a good number.
I'll tell you what, I'm very, very, very happy. I guess some mildly surprised to crack the top 100.
Well, it's funny because we were talking again. I don't want to give it away, but I look at this like there was a thing called the Billboard charts, the Billboard music charts, and you made the top. Making the top 100 was a big deal. There's 200, the top 200 albums in America, and the top 100 would be like the higher selling ones. And you made 98, and you know what? You made it before me. I'm not a Hall of Famer. Well, I'm going the let's say owner route who used to own WWE route. We're not putting me in the Hall of Fame, but that's okay.
I'll never forget my number.
Remind me, which were you 40? Were you 43?
69.
I was just gonna say, you sick son of a gun. Get out of here.
You know what? I have to admit that I thought you were in the 40s or 50s. It was 69. So actually, you know what? For all they could say about the Hall of Fame, we've only inducted 29 people since you got in. So that's 29. That's in what, 9 months?
Yeah.
I guess we're quite close to a year, huh?
Yeah, that's not that many. People think, oh, every day there was a Hall of Famer on Sportswire. No, really. That means only 29 people got in since you. That's actually I think pretty good. I think that's really damn good. There's a lot of people here that want to talk. We'll get to them in a few minutes, but there you have it. Yeah, I think it's a good number. I always thought 98. I thought 98 was a good number. 98 was a good year in the world. I think it was. I think it was. But
it was. ECW was still alive. Indie wrestling was going good.
Yep.
I think about it when I was growing up. I was little, and I remember
Big year for wrestling.
I don't think about my family situation. Remember, I think my mother's in bed right now, but I think 1998 we were starting to do well. It was almost like, okay, I was remembering my family like we was doing good. It was like, there was like we would go out for dinner. Like we didn't go out for dinner those years. Like I was little. Now we're starting to go out for dinner. So I remember it being a good year, but it's an even better number because Richie Allen's our newest member of the Hall of Fame. And I understand, Andrew, you have a match coming up here this weekend or what?
Yep. Out in Lewistown at the Lewistown Community Center for Honorary Wrestling Federation. It's supposed to be me and Aaron Connors from PWX.
PWX, interesting there.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I'm always confident. Like, let's be honest. But he's a former world champion.
Yep.
Very talented in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I admire his technical skills. He's gonna be a good challenge for sure.
So how are you preparing here coming up?
I've been scouting him out for 2 years. Like I don't let a lot of people know, but I've been doing a lot of homework on him. Like since when I first walked in the door at PWX, I tried to study every one of the talents just in case.
Was this somebody you wanted to wrestle for a while?
Yeah, he was on the bucket list. Like I started studying him back when him and Matt Silks were doing their little feud there.
Nice.
Around the HWF world title down there.
Okay. So it's a big one for you here coming up because you get a win here, could lead you to this place and that place, and could make for something.
Let's be honest. After the last match I had with John Ronan, it put me at the back of the list, right at the back of the line, and I need to prove myself. Like I need to start racking up. I need to start getting some momentum before I can get back in the hunt of anything.
And that's why getting a win here, beginning of the year, you're gonna warm things up. Reincarnation. We got this Arctic blast that's been blasting everybody here, and you're gonna get a victory here coming up at the Lewistown Community Center to show why you are the be-all end-all.
One can only hope, but yeah, I'm gonna give everything I got.
You know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And I can't wait. January 11th, Honorary Wrestling Federation, Reincarnation, HWF. And this is what I love. I love independent wrestling. I cannot stress enough independent wrestling, especially in Pennsylvania. And Andrew Loveless is in action. It's going to be a barn burner here. You want to talk about a match?
Let's be honest. Like, look at that entire card of talent. Every one of them has something special to offer for the show.
How about Ed House coming back?
Ed House is a hell of a talent.
Ed House coming in. Oh, that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, how about the Suns? I mean,
I'm excited for their match because they're fighting the Buffalo Boys.
I mean, and that's going to be a match a lot of people are going to be paying attention to.
That's going to steal the show, I think.
And then there's
the big main event. The James Ford defends the HWF World Championship against both members of Neverfall. Zach Rain,
Mm.
and John Ronan. And I've stepped
you
into
have
the ring
history
with
with
2 out
John.
of 3 of those guys.
You got a lot of history there with that. I mean, from afar, you got to be watching this real closely.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there, Richie?
I will be there full in color.
Really? Richie's going to be in color, and you're going to be. Are you refereeing Andrew's match?
I would hope so.
Because we don't want Ian Graves, right?
Yeah, you hear that, Ian Graves? Good referee.
Ooh.
I can't confirm that, but I'll say I know I'll have the main event.
So I'll say this though. If some would say, because this has actually been a topic on Sportswire in the last few weeks, if there was nepotism involved here, Richie was the referee for Andrew's match, what would you say, gentlemen, toward that? If there was allegations of nepotism, should Richie Allen be refereeing Andrew Loveless's match? Okay, so tell me why not.
No nepotism.
No?
He calls it straight down the middle. He's a class act referee.
But you're with him right now on Sportswire. You don't think you're going to influence him at all or try to...
No.
No?
The guy doesn't blow smoke up my ass, even for tape study. Like, I would want him to call it right down the middle. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose.
What have you guys been studying recently? Anything you're studying recently at the moment?
I've been studying a lot of Harley race stuff. I've been studying Joe and Dean Malenko stuff.
Okay.
Going into the Aaron Connors thing. So like I've found some surprise reversals. We'll leave it at that. I've also been studying Ring of Honor Daniel Bryan.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor.
So
that might have been the best Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. So like I know Connors, he uses a lot of different submissions. He relies on the cattle mutilation for sure as one of his arsenals.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. I think I've heard that before. That's a good point. I'm excited about it. You know what? I love wrestling in the independent circuit. I can't stress that enough. And if you want to follow Andrew, you can find out here some of that. And I'm going to get to some people here in the chat. So chat wants to talk. I'm going to let them have an opportunity. Sean Jovi's the first comment here. I would have thought Zilla would have been the first comment, but it's Sean Jovi, the resident rockstar. Well, what's happening, guys? I don't know. You tell me what's going on out there. I know nothing. I don't know anything about it. Anything going on here? Well, you tell me. Zilla is number 2. Hi to Richie Allen. Hi to Andrew Loveless. And thank you, Zilla, for the kind words. I appreciate that very much. Hello there to Sean Jovi. My buddy Nathaniel Rage, who's not too far from you guys. He's in Appalachia, West Virginia. And Nathaniel was telling me the other day that there was 2 feet full of snow there in West Virginia. They were 24.
Yeah, they got hit pretty good.
Yeah, they called for about an inch here, and I think we got about 8.
And meanwhile, here in Brooklyn and Staten Island, the last couple of days, I've been complaining about like 25-mile-an-hour winds with like 1 inch of snow on the ground. You guys got 8. It's like, I was speaking with somebody today somewhere else, and they were telling me, and I was like, oh, so what's your weather? And he's like, oh, we just had 11 inches of snow. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. You know what? Forget about what I'm complaining about, the 1 inch and the 20-mile-an-hour wind. That's why it's good. I'm going to put my shorts on Monday here in New York City because they're calling for 44. 44 is never going to feel warmer than it ever has before. I am just praying for Monday. Sunday and Monday.
Tom,
I wish we had that tomorrow. I heard we're supposed to get 8 degrees.
All right, guys, it's time to move to California.
I'm not gonna.
There's wildfires, man. They'll heat us up.
Well, it's funny. Steve Gutenberg was on social media talking about the wildfires, and I think we got a wildfire there in Richie Allen's camera there. But no, California. I mean, I saw what Hogan went through there, but no, I think California,
I want that kind of heat.
I don't know.
That's the only thing that would draw me to California. I want to be booed out of the building like that.
Yeah, what's with the wildfire? Yeah,
that's a tragedy. My prayers go out to the victims, the families,
horrible,
the displaced. They've lost homes, everything.
That's why, like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm one of these guys. I don't think I could move. People, people tell me all the time, you got to get out of New York. When are you're in New York, so you're one of the old guys from the neighborhood still. When are you getting out? And I'm like, I just love my people. I love my community. I love my community. Like people.
Speaking of that, I need a trip to New York real bad. I've been thinking about it the last few days.
You better get a trip to you. You get your butt down here. We're gonna take a photo. We're gonna get more likes than Rhino, and I'm gonna buy the pizza on me. All right.
Okay,
And
deal.
bring Richie,
Road
but not,
trip, Richie.
we're not going to City Field though.
Fair.
Somebody said that. And Nathaniel, give him a follow. House of Rage Productions. Speaking of people who I'm excited about, Day Jameson. Maybe you'll see Day Jameson.
Oh, Day.
Yeah, Day's no longer in PWX, but I won't go there with that. No comment. I'm saying no comment. At this point, I'm going no comment. Now I'm really going no comment. If it was
revolving door. There's my comment.
You could say that at this point. I'm saying like no comment.
What do I have to lose?
Right.
Nothing. Well, I'm not going to take
$5, $10. Well, plus trans, minus trans.
You get trans?
No, $10 minus trans is what
I was going to say. Like,
I'll tell you what. This is what I will say. Day, for one booking he loses, he'll gain like 7. Trust me, he'll gain like 7. I got faith in Day.
Oh, Day's not worried about Day. I can tell you
know. But you know, Day is working a really cool show next Wednesday. He's actually working a Wednesday show.
Which one? Is it Law?
Yes, with Godric Samuel's on that. With Mickey Knuckles is on there. It's some like big heavy hitters there. He's on that bill.
Is Necro in that one? Necro
that's the one with Necro.
That's the one.
That's the
one. That's Law. We talked about it with Day.
I saw that one, and I saw. I think he's doing USWA as well.
I think yes. I think that was on Facebook yesterday. If Day's in the chat, he'll let us know. But yeah, I like Day. I don't know if Thomas Taft likes Day so much though.
Yes.
Have you worked with Thomas Taft on a show or not? Have you been on a show with him, Andrew?
I've seen him around, but I haven't been on any shows with him yet.
Okay. Well, I will hope you do. How about you, Richie? Have you run into like the Stompers and Thomas Taft? You run into them?
No, I've seen them advertised recently. Where probably for Law.
I love the Stompers. I'm a big fan of them.
Oh, the Stompers! I'm
I've
team
never
Stompers.
worked with them.
They'll stop me if I'm my team. No, I love Richie and Rob.
Out at Amplified at the beginning of last year, I said that they're going to be the future of tag team wrestling, and I stand by that. Still.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I'll tell you what show I wish you guys were on. The New Jack show coming up this weekend. You got the Stepdads and the Prodigies. I wish you guys were on that show.
Oh man, that would be fun.
The New Jack tribute show with the New Jack Rumble. I mean, oh my goodness, Sabu's going to be on that. I think.
Oh
yeah. There's still some unfinished business.
He'll steal your chicken. He'll steal your chicken.
Yeah, he will.
He'll take it all from catering, buddy.
Well, you know what? They need the payoff. We'll move on. Yes, hello to Nathaniel Rage. She obeys Nathaniel Rage. Okay, you obey the devil. Hi, Day Jameson. I love, like, respect, and appreciate Day Jameson. I'm sure he appreciates that. Hello to our friends in WC. Hello, Mr. Loveless and Mr. Richie Allen. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Yes, Craven's doing well on Facebook. Saw that. Appreciate that. All the thoughts and prayers. Want to wish everybody all the best. And congratulations, Richie. I agree. Congratulations, Richie. Yes. You know, you and Dick Allen are in the Hall of Fame. You know, it was two Richies, technically.
Do you know my dad's name is Dick Allen?
Well, and now, was that because of Dick Allen or just coincidence?
His father's name was Dick Allen.
Oh.
There was Big Dick.
Well, thank you for that. I got the
Little Dick.
I'm going to move on, especially in light of Rhino coming to Sportswire. Thank you, Zilla. Yes, in light of Rhino, we are moving on. Yes. I've had people message me that I didn't even know, like, were alive. And they were like, you did that? Was that you? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, wow, you're like, so like, yeah. So that's why we're moving on. Rhino is one of my wrestling idols. Yeah, well, you know what? He's had quite a journey, you know, reinvented himself. Think about it, he was out of like mainstream wrestling for 4 years, comes back. He wins the SmackDown tag team titles. First one, NXT had a great run. Impact Wrestling, you know, just ended his career there, goes into the Hall of Fame. Not many guys are in the Impact. Not many guys and gals are in the Impact Wrestling.
He worked every company.
Ring of Honor, he did Ring of Honor. Well, AEW, he didn't work AEW. But other than that, I mean, he's pretty much been like everywhere. You know, he had really reinvented himself in WWE. People,
I'll bite my tongue about AEW.
Well, yeah, we're gonna definitely bite our tongue on AEW because actually, I don't want to tip my hand. I don't want to tip my hand on something because I I don't want to tip my hand. Let me put it that way, because you might see something here in Sportswire with that. Let me move on. Let me move on here. Thank you, Mr. Allen. Your work as a ref is amazing. I agree. Speaking of people that really want to say things, the hall monitor of Sportswire Radio, Mr. 7-time Hall of Famer, Justin Parsley. I can do it all. Tom, hope everyone's having a great time tonight. Yeah, I'm not outside right now because the wind is just like, it's like horrible. We're horrible. WC management. Yes, we just answered that. Justin Parsley. What is that? A mask on his face? Do you have COVID? Do you have Justin Parsley has a mask? I think on his face. You have COVID or something, Justin? Is that what's wrong with you, Mr. Parsley? Is that why you're saying the face emoji? Don't you get it? The mask. Move on here. We'll move on here. Craven Michaels is resting, is recovering in a slow process. Greetings and salutations. Thankfully, somebody saves us here. Mr. Ox McCoy, who is bound in blood, reigns in blood, and sends all his messages in blood. And I should play you something. You want to laugh? I actually have some. You all get it. You know what? Let me put Ox up here. Let me pull this up from Ox. Ox will, I think, grant me permission for this. I have to play this from Ox because Ox, he made something for me, and if I don't play it, Ox will throw me. Rhino wanted to gore me today, but I think that Ox will want to throw me in tables if I don't play it. So let me pull it up. Oh, this is not the wrong one. Let me pull it up. Okay, here we go. I think I got it right. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to go like this. You're going to get a kick out of this. Just trust me. It's funny. It's funny. Ox is going to get a kick out of it. So I'm going to pull it up here. You see it? There we go. Okay, here we go. You ready? Who's Gary? Who's Gary? Just put this cigarette down. We're live. Let's
Ric Flair, you have made world. Put that cigarette out.
See? Get it? Who's Gary? Who's Gary? Just put this cigarette down. We're live. Let's. Thank you, Ox. Well, we got the point. Thank you, Ox. It was funny. Didn't you think it was funny?
What was going on?
So what he did was, we had a segment on Sportswire last week with Justin Parsley, Omen Black, and Soldier GP. And in the segment, Omen Black, who's the IMF world champion, he's bleeding. He all of a sudden, like a darkened segment, he bleeds. And then just because they're trying to set up a match, they're going to have their show next weekend, which we're sponsoring here on Sportswire Radio. We're supporting. I donate 2 tickets or 1 or 2 tickets to a lot of these shows because, I believe in independent wrestling and I support my community. But that's not about that. But really what the segment was why Ox clipped it, was Justin Parsley was smoking a cigarette. And I was telling him, we're live, put the cigarette down. And then he got the Gene Okerlund reference from the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Okay.
There you go, Richie. I had to remind you of it, but that's why I thought it was funny.
I'm old. I'm getting dementia.
Well, that's okay. Not that old. What are you, like Jimmy Carter? 100? You're 100. Are you 100? Did I know? Should I check?
About halfway there, brother.
That's nothing these days. Listen. Goldberg's 50-something. He wants another match still.
Yeah, Rick Flair's 96, and he wants
Flair's out there. Listen, Rhino's 50. He's about to be 50 this year. Rhino don't look 50. I might say because I'm a Rhino homer, but Rhino's 49. You wouldn't tell that Rhino's 49.
He does.
How long did Terry Funk wrestle till he was damn near
70?
Dory
74?
just wrestled at the age of 84.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Ox was like 82, right? Was it 82? I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
He set the world record.
Flair's going to be 76 and wants another match.
He wants to die in the ring.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bad idea. I like Rick, even though he's got kind of a shitty personality. But
I know we're just shooting off the hip here, but you know what? But wouldn't there be no better way to go out? Think about it, right? Would you want to die in a nursing home for months? You want to die? You want to die in a hospital bed for 6-7 months in a vegetable state? I'm listen. I don't know.
I can't argue. The man has lived most of his natural life inside of wrestling.
I've said it on Sportswire multiple times in the last year. If I croaked doing an intro, it was nice knowing everybody. You'll remember.
We get to pick our ways to go out.
If you want, I'm planning not to go out tomorrow.
Atticus Cogar.
Okay, I'm gonna get gassed during a slave calling match and just die.
Thank you very much. I know that being a ref is a big part of wrestling. Thank you for confirming what we already know, and I appreciate you for coming up here. The man, the myth, and the legend, Richie Allen, baby. Thank you,
Oh,
Donnie.
wow.
Donnie, hit the sub button for me. It's Sportswire Radio 6579. Give me more subs so I'll get more Rhino appearances. But thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Donnie. Not to be confused with Donnie Baseball. And follow Richie on Instagram. Yeah, follow him on Instagram. Actually, there you go. Ox said it. I used to ref. It was fun. In the future, I go back to it. There's a wrestler that referee.
There it is.
I always listen. I have an affinity for referee. I always think about it. I played basketball as a kid. I played CYO basketball, and I always remember the referees. And it was like they always had a difficult job. Then I covered college basketball, which I still kind of do, not as much as I used to, obviously, but I covered college basketball for it. I used to go to these games, and I would sit there, and sometimes I would stand by the baseline. I would see the referees, and I would almost look at the referee, and I would sometimes keep more of an eye on the referee than the players on the court. The referee, I've always felt, is such an integral part of whatever it might be that they should get more credit than they do, I think,
The
sometimes.
refs should get paid equal to what the boys get paid.
I think the boys aren't going to want that, though.
I know, but I'm saying they work just as hard as the boys
Well,
do.
I don't. Something tells me that I don't think that our boys are going to be sharing the payoff. We'll move on. That's why
let's move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. See, thank you, Richie. Now you got the drill here. I feel like I'm on Howard Stern rather than Sportswire. Hi to the House of Wolves, Ox McCoy. Yep. I love, thank you for that. My friends, Carolina Trampoline Wrestling, first round of our heavyweight championship starts this Friday. Appreciate that very much. Hello there. Also, Justin Parsey says, congratulations. This induction is official. You are Hall Monitor approved. He even
Thank
has
you.
he even has a shirt, by the way, that has himself as the Hall Monitor.
That's
Yeah,
great. You gotta live the gimmick.
Like, yeah.
No, I think it's real for him. No, I don't
No,
think it's
that is. It's not a gimmick, is it?
No, it's not a gimmick. No, sir. No, I think with this gentleman, it's not a gimmick. It's real. That greasy fill in the blanks James Ford. Dun.
Oh, now we're shooting.
Hey, I'm thankful for James Ford. He saved my ass the last show.
Well, we'll thank James Ford and we'll move on. Andrew's on Instagram. Check him out. Who else we got here in the chat? Hey, everyone. How's everyone? We're doing good. Well, I'm not outside at the moment. Ox McCoy liked the vid. He liked me playing the video. Of course he liked it because now he's not going to put me through thumbtacks and 20 tables now. He's not going to make me bleed. Maybe he'll want to do that next week when he's on the air. I don't know. The IMF Wrestling Hardcore Champion. I still love that video. Let's tag Loveless. I'll take Otis. The best way to go out. By the way, somebody wants to talk about it. The best way to go out is in Appalachia. Well, so here's my reason for him. He did a video, and he did this video because he does paranormal type of stuff. And in his video, I'll pull it up and we'll explain it. I'll pull the video up and you'll see what I'm saying. In his video, he actually basically has almost like a death-like experience. I mean, it's interesting. It's that's why he's the devil. They call him the devil, by the way. Do you guys think the devil is a good guy, by the way? Because apparently Nathaniel said the devil could be good. I don't know if you guys necessarily agree with that, but I'll pull this video up. You'll see what I'm saying. Well, I'll play a minute of it because it's not very long, but it'll be funny. Then I'll ask you about something else. But here you go. That's it. So in this video, as you can see, I mean, there's just blood all over the place. It's
that. So we're going to venture in.
Yeah, he's got blood everywhere. You like blood?
Was he deer hunting? Was he
I don't know. See the blood?
tracking a deer? Got one.
I hadn't thought of that, but I don't think it's a deer. I don't think it's a deer. I just think it was just blood in the trail. Could be him. I don't know. Could be him. But he's bleeding. Somebody's bleeding. A lot of blood. I don't think it's ketchup either. I don't think it's like Heinz ketchup. You guys get the Heinz ketchup. Well, of course you guys do. Heinz ketchup's made in Pittsburgh, so you probably have plenty of Heinz ketchups. But
only.
Only Heinz. Only Heinz. Well, I don't think it's.
No, we have all kinds, but none others acceptable.
You know what? I actually agree with you on that. I know we might be having a serious subject here, but the only ketchup I do tend to like is Heinz. Yeah, Heinz. Sometimes we get the substitute as Hunt's. Wouldn't do it for me.
Yeah,
Hunt's,
yeah.
Hunt's wouldn't do it. But I wasn't arguing with. Well, I did argue with my mother quite a bit about that when I was a kid. Yeah, that's why I'm here getting with mutton chops and long hair. But
I'm about
that's
to
the
get some
point.
heat because I think they both taste the same.
Well, you know what? That's why we're going to move on here. And we got to say here in the devil's forest of the missing, I obey you. Okay. So we got the point here. So, Andrew, some seminars we spoke about recently. Want to talk about them?
Yeah, I did Gregory Iron. Like my last 2 months I've been down at Rise Wrestling Academy there
Oh,
in
I had a rise.
Uniontown. I went and did Gregory Iron, which was really good. Tons of notes there, a lot of education. And then they brought in Dijak from WWE.
Oh, you got died. Whoa.
Yeah. So
Straight up.
there was an odd number of students. So I got partnered up with Dijak and I got to work with him on some
You.
stuff.
So what was he like?
Really great guy. Really a lot of explosiveness is the best way I can put it.
Any
Like
advice he give you?
huh?
Any
Oh
advice?
yeah, he gave me a lot of stuff. Like some things I don't want to air.
Yeah, don't do
Uh,
it here, especially now that we know
But
Ryan. Don't do it.
I had my first experience. Like those that know me know I have asthma.
Yes.
And so we were working these drills called 5x5s, and
Okay.
we pieced 3 of them together. And at the end of it, I ended up having a real bad asthma attack.
Oof,
I
not
thought I
good.
was gonna die down there. Like it was brutal. Like I hit my inhaler about like 40 times. But I did get a lot of notes, and I muscled through it and ended up I I got to do the second drill, and then he exchanged some information with us. So like it was a good time. It was well worth the investment for sure. Like I highly recommend like anybody that wants some really good education to go to those 2 kind of guys seminars.
That's really cool. That's really to have somebody like him with that experience and that success to be able to just absorb his knowledge. I mean, that's just a lifelong return on that investment.
Yeah, he helped me understand it really is about the little things and working slow.
Well, that's like Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Like
Anything.
it made me understand it to a deeper level.
Everybody, there's almost like it's kind of like when you're driving, and everybody wants to speed and go through the light, but guess what? You're gonna be in the same place. You might as well just have a
They'll be the
flow.
ones in the culvert down the road, halfway down, as you're
Yeah.
creeping by them.
So you work with Dijak, you work this seminar, and so how does that help you going forward?
Oh, it helped me with chain wrestling. It helped me with like international drills. It helped me with one thing that I've always wanted to learn in the 3 years of training that I never really got the opportunity to really get figured out was up and overs in the corner.
Hmm.
So he helped me conquer those. So
Hmm.
like to get his blessings and get the positioning the way I need to for those, like that meant the world to me for sure.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. You have that opportunity to be with a WW a guy that's made it in a WWE ring and had a lot of success.
He came off the ropes and hit me with a shoulder block. Oh my god.
Probably
Like
felt like you were being hit with a ton of bricks, right?
there was so much explosion behind it. I was like, whoa, it felt like I got hit by Ox McCoy coming at me at like 80 miles an hour.
Ox is gonna love that you said that. By the way, Ox is gonna be like,
I
"Well, this
study a lot of his stuff, so like I'm a fan of
Ox
his
is a
work.
good." Ox is. I tell you what, I wish he would come on Sportswire because I think he does so much out there. He
Ox,
helps.
what are you doing, man?
He's a busy man. No, he's a busy man. He's a
Make
gentleman.
time.
He's a gentleman and a Rhodes Scholar. I mean, it's
He's one of the
interesting stuff.
boys. Come do it.
Well, that's interesting stuff. I mean, so what's also next for you, Richie? What's next coming up for you? I know this weekend, but anything else you're working? Any other places coming up in the next few weeks?
Nothing in the next few weeks. No, nothing.
Well, there is something, Andrew, you're working. I don't think we spoke about yet. This thing called the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitation. Are you invited to this, Richie? Now, this is something I could talk to you about, Richie. Now, Richie, you're obviously this respected referee. You're obviously somebody that's done so much. I think we might have mentioned this before, but I kind of think that you should be invited to this thing. You should certainly should be invited.
I was sent a friend request. I accepted.
Accepted.
So
yeah.
I'm assuming that Mr. Wakefield will probably want to be in touch with me. Or
Burf. I think Burf. You know what? I'm gonna really shoot now. Burf. Yeah, Burf got it.
Okay.
Yeah, Burf. Yeah, he looks like a Burf, doesn't he? Right? Actually,
no comment.
He messaged me. Actually, it's funny because he is coming back to Sportswire, and now he's like, I'm announcing when I'm coming back to Sportswire because now he's. A big deal now. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. You know what? Whatever you want. And he's like, we got something plenty to talk about. I'm going to bring this up. That Richie Allen, how come he hasn't been invited yet? How come Richie Allen hasn't been there? He could referee Andrew Loveless's match. What do you say, Richie? I mean, you always got your stripe gear on, near you. I mean, it, and I know it.
You told me, Richie, you hate refereeing six-mans. So I don't think you want my match. But there's other great matches on the card.
Well, I mean, I hope you're there. I mean,
who's involved in your match, Andrew?
Huh?
Who's in your match?
Well, he's with Nikki. You know what's funny? You said that. Actually, one of your tag team partners is my guest tomorrow night, Nikki Chooch. Nikki Chooch is here tomorrow night in your chair, Andrew. You should really check out Nikki Chooch. Nikki Chooch
I
is
want
a
to know
guy.
who that mystery guy is.
Well, that's up to Brandon Castelli and Silas Walker. Silas was here on Saturday's show, but he was in no mood for me to ask him that. I didn't want to.
I can't wait to tie up with Castelli. That's my goal in that match.
He's the DBW World Champion. He's been very impressive. He defended it in VTW, won that there, and Brandon wants to go overseas. I hope Brandon's okay with me saying it. Yeah, I don't think he'll have a problem with it, actually. But yeah, Brandon wants to go overseas. Brandon is making waves, and he's the DBW.
He's making them rounds, making them towns.
And you're gonna be right across the apron from him, or I guess I don't know what you call it in the summer ring, but you're gonna be across from him, and you're tagging with Nikki Chooch, my guest tomorrow night.
The man, Nikki Chooch.
Nikki Chooch, New York guy. I know plenty of guys like Nikki Chooch. Plenty of them. I know plenty of Nikki Chooches. But you're actually tagging with the Nikki Chooch.
I know. Look at that team.
It's a dream team, but
it is.
You don't know who Silas Walker and Brandon Castelli have. And by the way, Richie,
they better be scouting somebody good. That's all I got to say.
Well, Richie, that actually ties into you because the most recent Hall of Famer was Silas Walker. So you actually you were right after Silas Walker. So kind of ironic, right? You're 98, he's 97. But
Richie, are you their mystery partner?
No, stop.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if I was.
I see how it is. Okay.
No, I don't think so. Brother. I think Richie is going to figure out to bring his ring gear, and Mr. Wakefield, when he comes back to Sportswire in a few weeks, is going to do the right thing and invite Richie Allen because it's what's best for business. It's what's best for business.
I agree. It is what's best for business. And tell him to save up all of that wedding money.
You know what? It's funny.
Fill up a nice fat envelope for the referee.
You know what I think, Richie? I think that he, considering Mr. Wakefield is such an associate of mine, such a friend of mine, and he knows that I'm the only man that probably has a bigger bank account than his, and I happen to think mine is real, and his, I don't know.
You think it's a gimmick? No.
I think mine is not a gimmick. I can tell you that
much. No,
I'm not in Tony Khan's level, but I know my bank account. But I think Mr. Wakefield's going to be. I think he's going to be leaning heavily on me to certainly cover some of these costs.
Some sponsorship there, huh?
Well, you know what, Mr. Wakefield, at this point, maybe, Silas wants to change the name. Maybe we'll have to change the name. Who knows? But Mr. Wakefield has become a confidant and an associate, so he'll be back on sports. But I'm going to talk about this, but I'm excited. Nikki Chooch,
I'm
Andrew,
excited for that match.
you know what? You got some. They're all great matches, by the way, on here.
Yeah.
You got D'Lo Smith. D'Lo Smith's another guy that I was actually supposed to get on Sportswire like 14 times, but like it's on me, so like I have to talk to him. But Nikki's here tomorrow night around the same time, same bad channel, and Nikki Chooch is the real guy. He's like a real guy. It looks like he's dressed in from one of the episodes of The Sopranos. I mean, I don't know
I'll
if
be
he's
tuning
related.
in for that for sure.
I think you will be, actually. I think Nikki's going to be an interesting one, and I'm interested into what people think about that. But that's the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational. Andrew Loveless is invited. He's on the card, but Richie Allen, don't you worry, Richie. I got your back, Richie. I'm going to talk to Chase. I'm going to talk like Nikki Chooch because I'm the walking definition. I'm from those streets. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you something there, Richie. I got you. Don't you worry. Forget about it. Forget about it. I got you. Don't you worry about it. All right. I'm gonna
I
take
believe
care.
you, brother.
All right,
I
I
believe
got
you.
you. All right, I will certainly say we got this. So, D'Lo Smith is a guy that's been around in like VTW, done a lot of stuff. So, for those that don't know, Nikki Chooch is a guy that's he's been in like the North Carolina independent kind of underground wrestling circuit. He's a guy that's been pretty accomplished over the past several years. You've seen him in places like VTW, DBW, but he's an independent wrestler. He's a really interesting guy. Actually, I got to be honest. This is one of the. I'm really looking forward to this interview. I ain't gonna tell you it's gonna be on the level of Rhino, but it's gonna be pretty damn good. I'm really looking forward to Nikki. Nikki's an interesting guy.
It's gonna be good.
Gonna be very good. And if you think you got something else to do, forget about it. Let me tell you something. You better be here, all right? Because I want you to represent. But no, I'm excited about that. A lot of stuff ahead. We were supposed to have a surprise, but I guess they forgot to show up. So maybe they'll show up next time. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. But so what else do you guys have on the agenda here tonight before we move on to if you want? Anything else we should talk about or know of? Anything you want to
I
get?
don't have any matches the next couple weekends, but I'm planning on trying to travel.
Travel somewhere warmer, I think.
I wish. It'd be nice. No, it's mostly Pennsylvania area. The 18th is IWC Reloaded.
Are you bringing turntables with you?
I would gladly, in a heartbeat. Because one of my things is I would love to be able to DJ a wrestling show. I think it'd be
that.
wild.
I saw your for New Year's things. I saw that.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of good names on there, a lot of cities. Like
did Wakefield ask you to DJ his wedding?
My issue is I'm not really a wedding DJ though. So like it's a big struggle as an artist.
I don't think anybody's gonna care though. In that they're all gonna be wrestlers. They would probably.
I'm not gonna lie. Like if he gave me the opportunity to throw down out in an hour set, I would do it for free for him.
Well, he's coming back to Sportswire, so I'll make sure he knows.
Okay.
I'll make sure.
But yeah, like
he's not gonna probably pay you much anyway for the show, so consider it an even trade off.
Fair. The 18th is IWC Reloaded, which is really exciting. So like I'm gonna go down there and try to meet Elias, network with him a little bit. The night before I think is 880. Don't quote me on it. I might have the date wrong on that one. But there's that, and then the following weekend is the 25th. That's Asylum Pro Wrestling and PWX are both running that weekend.
I know
Stan the Lariat Hansen is coming to Western PA.
That's right.
February, March
15th.
Oh well,
I already got it wrote down in the books, baby.
While you and your notebook, I'm sure you got the pen ready, and you're going like, okay, I'm going here. You know what it reminds me of? Like, you remember when people had like the black book, and they would like pull the notes out and let me go like this. Let me go. He's doing it on Sportswire. He's got the black book. There it is. He's got the black book. I remember my father had like the little calendar book.
That's right.
You still got? Do you have the fanny? You got the fanny pack?
I got 3 of them bad boys. 2 of them in black, and then I got like the old 1990s neon style one. Yeah, I'm gonna look sexy this summer for the ladies.
You know what? before I go, because I wasn't gonna say it, but I have a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, that he wants to ask. Last week, Andrew, you were on Sportswire Radio, and obviously we were promoting something. It was you in 814 Wrestling against,
Yep.
a guy, D Savage, a well-known guy, well-known friend of mine. I would think Mr. Savage would like to be friends with me. I think
I got my hopes up for sure because I wanted to wrestle Savage.
Yeah.
I got thick as could be. I did not want to jeopardize getting the locker room sick. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay,
So,
well, you know what? All
so
right.
I wanted to do the honorable thing, and as much as I hate to pull out of a match ever, like I it's one of those ones that like things were real risky. I couldn't take the chance.
Understood.
But me and D Savage, we'll tie up one of these days, real soon. It'll happen.
Yeah.
I got hopes.
Where do you
And
think
don't worry, Savage. Like I'll gladly beat you. I'll humble you a little bit. It's a matter
I
of time.
still say what I said last week on the show. You've seen how he looks, right?
So looks ain't everything.
But have you seen him though?
Yeah, he ain't that big. He ain't that bad either.
Well, that's partially right, but I think he's a pretty tough. He's a savage. I mean, he's a savage animal.
He is.
He does repeat. He does say something that I'm not going to
But
quite say.
there's ways of humbling Savage.
Well, what's to humble him on? The man's
Huh?
got a lot of tattoos. He's been successful. He's got gold. What's to humble him?
Well, there's ways. You'll see when it happens.
Well,
I
I'm talking
give
to
away
mine.
all my tricks,
Oh,
Tom.
Mine, she stop here.
How can I see it if the match hasn't happened yet?
You want all the answers.
No, well, I have to. If Rhino could take that heat, I got to ask you the heat.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You can ask all day long. Doesn't mean you're gonna get them.
Just when you think you know the answers, he changes the questions.
That's
well,
right.
and I'm not repeating what Savage said, but that's what Savage said. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. But do you think one day we'll see this match?
Oh yeah, we'll see it for sure. It'll happen.
Where do you think it'll happen?
He just got lucky this weekend. That's all that is.
Oh, I don't know about that. I would say that I'm glad that you didn't get people sick, but I still am disappointed.
I had to do the professional thing. Like as
No,
much as I didn't want to.
I respect that. Listen,
And I'm not gonna lie, it ticked me off. Like I hate it, but like I had to do the honorable thing.
I'm sure it did, but I would like to think that we'll have this match somewhere. Maybe Richie will be the referee.
Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
You won't want Ian as the referee. That's what I already know. No Ian.
No, absolutely not. No. We'll keep him chained up in a basement somewhere.
What is your beef with Ian? What is it?
Huh?
What's your beef with Ian?
So Ian, yeah.
Where do we begin?
Oh,
like,
God.
Ian. No.
This goes back, what, 3 shows? Was it 3 PWX shows in a row? Was it three?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
He lost matches in 2 of them, I think. And one of them was...
yeah, he distracted us a few times.
He came on the stream here.
He got in my way a few times. He just... Awkward.
Well, that's the wrestling world, right? Wrestling.
$50, I'll give him a seminar 1 hour.
There you go.
That's all right. So I know
you hear that,
now,
Ian Graves? Get the rub.
So Richie, I now know that if I give you $50 at a seminar, that I can learn from the best. So hopefully I can get to Pennsylvania one of these days, and I'll get down there and you'll teach me the tricks of the trade. And
I'll give you a discount, Tom.
No, you can get. I can afford the $50. Trust me. I'll give you the $50. We won't say I'm Steve Cohn, but I'll give you the $50, and then maybe after I learn enough, I'll consider retiring from Sportswire, and maybe we'll let Savage take over. Maybe we'll let Savage take over.
There you go.
Savage should take over. What do you think? Savage taking over for Sportswire?
That's a horrible idea.
Why not? Savage could interview Max Hammer.
Who?
Oh God.
Who?
That's a horrible idea too. Oh.
Peanut Butter and Jealous. That ring a bell, Richie?
Max Strong?
Max the Hammer time. Can't touch this.
Who? I think I heard of him before.
That's
No, I know.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm a Max Hammer fan. It's Hammer time, baby. You can't touch this. He's definitely too legit.
That's right. Too legit to quit.
Where is Jealous at?
That's who we're talking about, Richie.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I thought he was coming on.
That's what we thought tonight. I sent him the link.
His girlfriend showed up.
No, that's not my words. You know what that reminds me of, Richie? Hi. You know what that reminds you of before we get ready to sign off is that you remember the 60s Batman episodes, like where, like the Riddler and the Penguin, that was kind of like the Max Hammer foil. Yeah. I think Mr. Loveless is embarrassed here. Also, Savage wants a handicap match against Peanut Butter and Jealous.
Savage, you don't want that.
You know what he says?
Your career would be so short and so quick.
You know what this reminds when he says
We'd
Max
make
Hammer
you look even 20 times uglier than you already are.
I'm not going there. We're a family station. But you know what this reminds me of? You remember Martin? You go, boy. Yeah, boy. He said that like it's like Max Hammer, boy. Remember Martin?
Yeah.
Lawrence?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Somebody remember that. Was D Savage your surprise guest on the show? No. I think you just basically was supposed to be Max Hammer. That was and Hammer didn't come on. Boo. Don't worry, Hammer will be on this month. We're going to have plenty of chances for Hammer time. Plenty.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Oh, you're not worried? He has his hammer's real. His
I hope he's
hammer is
watching.
real. I like
he's
Max Hammer.
watching.
Max Hammer's a good dude.
I like Joe.
I don't know anybody named Joe. My middle name is Joe, though. It's Joe.
Right.
My middle name is. I don't know anybody named Joe. I know nobody named Joe. No, don't. I just don't.
2-on-1.
Couple coworkers I have named Joe.
Oh, that's what? Because those are wonderful coworkers. But Richie is the newest member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And anything else you fellas want to talk about before we get to closing thoughts?
I want to know what
tell
the
you
D Savage stands for. Is that disappointment?
No, it's not. He has
Is
gold.
it depression?
You seen how he looks? You think he's depressed?
He should be with a face like that.
Dude, he has his back is full of a tattoo. I mean, he's literally not depressed. He's a Boston Celtics fan.
I'd be depressed looking like that.
No. See, I love everybody's looks. No, his team's the Boston Celtics. They won the NBA championship. He's not depressed right now. How could he be depressed? His Celtics are on top. Well, they were on top last season.
Boston.
Yeah, he's the Boston Celtics fan.
Well, that explains it all right there.
He's won. Well, that means he's won a lot. That's what he knows.
Boston.
Loveless talks a lot when I'm not live.
I thought Loveless was Irish.
I
am. You could be. I mean, maybe you stayed at a Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
Has anybody actually ever stayed at a Holiday Inn? They always repeat that line.
Yeah.
And you have. You have.
I'm not smart enough.
You and Max Hammer, have you guys both stayed at a Holiday Inn at the same time?
Holiday Inn Express.
No, when I carpool with people, we get there, we get done. I drive all the way back.
When you and Hammer carpool, does Hammer have the hammer out?
Oh yeah. It's in the passenger seat with him.
It's Hammer time, baby.
3 hours, one way, baby. The hammer right there on his lap.
It is Hammer time. I'm not repeating what Savage says here. I'm not repeating that. We're not going there. Especially after Rhino is here. Well, and you'll see it real soon. I'm announcing tomorrow when Rhino's coming on, so we're not going to do that. We don't.
I'm looking forward to studying that.
Well, I mean, yeah, he does say a couple of memorable things. I mean, it's a fun interview. I think people are going to like it. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be not as fun as you guys coming on tonight. Although I was looking forward. The most fun was to me this day was going to be Max Hammer coming on with the hammer.
Disappointment.
We gotta
Slack
pray.
it, Hammer.
We gotta pray just to make it for Max Hammer to come back on Sportswire. Why doesn't Max Hammer come out with the parachute pants? Did you guys ever talk about him coming out to the parachute pants?
Because he's a man's man.
That's right.
That's Steven Regal.
He's the dirty love child of William Regal.
That's Steven Regal, but he's Hammer. He should be coming out with the parachute pants.
I'd wear the parachute pants.
But you're not Hammer, though. You're Andrew Loveless to be all
I know, but I'm just saying those things are comfy.
Bring back
They're
the old
phenomenal. Back in
Dubars.
my raver days, I used to have a pair of them. Loved them.
You weren't a raver in 1989 or 91. You couldn't have been.
No, he wasn't born yet.
No, I was
Exactly.
I was like 90,
8, 99?
97 is when I first started making trips. I
Okay, but
started sneaking into clubs.
all right.
When
Well,
you
I
were
don't think
12?
Hammer didn't have the parachute pants. Bottom line, he didn't have the parachute pants. He just didn't. And maybe you'll talk to him about it one day. But listen, I'm sure he'll be back. Godric Samuel is back on Sportswire. I have to maybe reschedule the time, but he'll be back next week. And
I like that guy.
I love Godric. You and Godric should have a one-on-one match. That I would love to see.
They will.
That's my goal. Like, I want it. I want it bad.
Well, he's going to be at Law next week on a Wednesday with Dave Jameson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna book it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask Chase Wakefield to book it.
That'd be great.
I'll ask him. He's back on Sportswire.
That'd be fun.
I'll ask Chase. Don't you worry, because I think Chase is having night 2. So maybe you and Savage could tangle at the Wakefield wedding.
There's a promo debate that I want to have with him too.
Who, Savage or Godric?
Godric.
Well, he's a gentleman caliber of exclusive.
Exquisite caliber.
It might have to be off camera, but like
Angels and Demons.
there's something
Angels,
that like we need to talk about.
Angels and
It'd be fun.
Demons, we could have quite a talk, but we had quite a talk tonight on Sportswire Radio.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm more demon than angel.
I'm going to leave that at that. I'm going to let the chat decide for that. Well, I'm sure have more talk about that at a different date and a different time. But I'm going to pass the baton off to you, gentlemen. Andrew, I'm going to keep it with you. I'm going to put your Instagram up. We'll get you some closing thoughts. And this was kind of fun. But, yeah, the surprise was Hammer tonight. And it wasn't Hammer time. So hopefully one day it'll be Hammer
He's
time.
probably
But
over there polishing his hammer somewhere.
until then, I'm going to parachute you with the microphone and some closing thoughts, and you can fire away.
I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to 2025. I want to get as many matches under my belt. Yeah, my goal is I want to be able to break 100 matches this year.
How many did you have last year? 42?
Yeah, I'm like 42 or 47, somewhere in that window.
I feel like we spoke about this. That's how I remember it. So, wow, okay.
Yeah. So, like, I want to be able to do that. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Like, the Be All Andrew Loveless.
TikTok, you're actually pretty regular on TikTok.
Yeah. I try to check all 3 of them every day. I post every show that and possible flyers that I get for. I try to give enough awareness in advance before shows.
Good.
So this way then you guys can try to get time off of your jobs and come support indie wrestling. Have fun.
I
support the boys. Great shirt, by the way.
Listen. Every show I try to donate to somebody out there. So yes, I'm in agreement with that. You're going to be in action this weekend coming up. HWF Lewistown Community Center. Go out there and check that out. And Zilla, by the way, wants Godric Sandwell to be the mystery partner for Silas Walker and Brandon Costelli. I'll ask Chase. I'll ask him. Chase he liked my Facebook post like a 15 minutes.
It would be a good way for me to be able to tie up with him.
I'm going to talk to Chase about that because he and I, you know what? I think Chase is trying to be an associate of mine because he knows that my bank account's bigger than his in real life. And he knows he's having problems with the wedding. I think that's my hunch. I kind of have. Because the wedding, my mother just got married and the wedding cost, without a wrestling super show, cost like $30,000. So I'm sure that Mr. Wakefield's wedding is going to cost a lot more. So,
I'm just saying, what is cut the budget in half and have a DJ.
Is it in August? Did I hear that before?
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't put a final date, but like he was looking for something
like July, August sometime, right?
Yeah, something like that. But it was not finalized because maybe it's up to Janie because she's the one that I think is signing off. Understandably so, by the way, on this crazy idea. But Mr. Allen, congratulations. I'm going to pass the baton to you for some closing thoughts. Anything else you'd like to plug, share, or say? And fire away, my friend.
Big weekend this weekend, HWF. It's going to be a great show as always. Yep. It's been a year since I've been there. Like I said, not by design, just by schedule conflicts. Can't wait to get back there. I miss my boys there. Matt Silks, Trista, R.D. Mosh, James Sellers, Big Eddie, anybody else I'm forgetting, Sam, Tim, all the guys. Miss them all. Miss my family at HWF. APWF, I know. Well, once football's over, and I think
Well, hopefully for you
spring,
Pennsylvania
summer,
teams.
we're gonna run Sundays at Allied Powers Wrestling Federation in Indiana or Johnstown,
Four of those.
Pennsylvania.
Nice.
I think we're gonna run Sundays, is what I've been way I understand it. So right there's the two companies I'm working close with is the HWF and APWF. And if anything else gets thrown my way, we'll roll with it as it comes. But it's not about me. It's about me trying to pass this business, this industry on to in as good a shape, or if not better shape, than when I entered it.
I meant, you know what? And that was what I said to me in inducting you in the Hall of Fame. And that's to me the most important thing is that you leave this earth and you leave this wrestling community that we're all a part of a better one. And I think that Richie, what you've done over your decades long career has done that. And I only had 10 minutes or 11 minutes to give you justice. So I should have done a lot more, but I think that that's what it is about, how you treat others and leaving this earth in a better place. Because eventually we will, unfortunately, to hate to break it to people, we will not be here permanently. But if you can, and I think for the wrestling community, which we're all a part of here, you are doing your job to leave it in a better one. And I think that that's why you are in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, and you most certainly deserve it. And we want people to follow Richie. Check him out on Instagram. I have the link up here right now, so this people can see. So there you go. There he is. Check him out. It's Richie Allen, 93-96. And those were bad years for the Mets. So if you're a Mets fan, just ignore those numbers. The Mets were pretty bad those 2 years. You know, there was a book, Richie. It was 1993, the worst team money can buy.
Yeah, worst team money can buy.
Worst team money can buy. That was a bad team. And 96 was not much better. But Richie's a lot better than that. He's the 98th member of the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, thank you so much for your support tonight. You will be seeing Rhino very, very soon. I think I'm going to announce that tomorrow. I'm going to do it in my own special way. So we'll have a way to do that. I think people will be excited. I had almost 5,000 people on my Facebook post view it. So that's a lot.
Nice.
Well, one last thing,
Good numbers,
I'd
Tom.
like to thank you again. I appreciate the honor of being the
You
98th.
don't have to thank me. You came on
Yeah.
Sportswire. I'm glad you came on. Listen, you're always welcome anytime. You know.
Thanks for having me. I
No,
appreciate
we love
it.
it. We love connecting with people in sports. I can't tell you. This is why I'm here every night. I just love talking to people and giving people something to look forward to and taking them away from whatever problems they have in the world or the world's problems. And we are here, and I can't thank you enough. And almost 1,360 subscribers. And Nikki Chooch is here tomorrow. Andrew, your soon-to-be tag team partner out there in the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, is going to be here around 9 o'clock Eastern time. And you'll get the announcement for Rhino tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, we're going back to your regular scheduled programming on our internet radio station. But if you're on YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, X, and also here on Instagram, check me out anytime, anywhere. You'll see my clips on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, and we'll be here tomorrow with Nikki Chooch. But until then, good morning. Yes, I don't know why my mom is being congratulated, though. I don't know
What happened to you?
Well, you know what?
Giving birth to a legend.
I don't know if she
Legend.
feels that way, though. I don't know if she feels. Maybe not. You know what? I want to say maybe because Rhino came on, she might think that way. I don't know.
Hey,
If she
you're getting a little more famous, maybe, you know?
I don't know about that. I think Chase Wakefield is saying congratulations to Mama Bryce because that way he can certainly, go in and ask for the loan. I really think that's what
Chase, he's a worker, huh?
he's a networker. I see he is a networker. And speaking of people, my very good friend, Mr. Yoshi Matsuda. Greetings to you
Nice.
all, gentlemen. Bless you all. Yes, he is my very dear friend, also fellow Hall of Famer. He is from the land down under, and if I don't give him a plug, he'll put me down under. But no, we love Mr. Matsuda. We are a part of Wrestling Zero in beautiful Australia, which it's a lot warmer than it is there rather than here. But if you can, go follow Wrestling Zero on Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. Here's our link. We got a lot of stuff coming up. And Mr. Matsuda, did you see that Rhino's coming to Sportswire? I hope you saw that, but that's okay. Anyways, follow Wrestling Zero and check us out on YouTube. We have a lot of stuff coming up. And Mr. Matsuda is an accomplished man, a good friend. And we were just talking on Instagram the other day. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm almost out of breath, but yeah, history made. Thank you. Thank you. The OGS. I love Mr. Matsuda, by the way. You know, he should be at the Wakefield wedding because he could perform. He's a very accomplished drill rapper. He has a song out there that, like, went viral. So maybe Mr. Wakefield will pay. He'll pay. You know what? You could DJ Mr. Matsuda's single.
I would gladly.
You could be the DJ while he's performing. And but speaking of Jay Ryan, there is Jay. I haven't seen Jay in a while. Hope you are doing good, my man. And thank you to my Wrestling Zero people. But we're going to get off the air. You guys go back, and I'll see everybody here. I'll announce Rhino tomorrow on the air. Rhino will be coming to Sportswire real soon. You'll get the announcement for that. But Nikki Chooch is here tomorrow, 9 o'clock Eastern time. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. I'm tied up. Oh, MMA calls. Well, you know what? You go do that, and we'll tell Chase Wakefield to, go let me take over the show. I'm only kidding. I'm not getting married to JD. Thank you for that. Yes, Rhino, it was a great honor. I'll talk more about it when when the interview airs. Just put it that way. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.